Once, in a quiet village beneath a vast northern sky, I woke before dawn in the stillness of early morning. The gentle warmth of sunrise began to cradle the world, painting the horizon in shades of pink and gold. I sat by my frost-kissed window, watching the snow-covered fields stretch into the distance, feeling as alone as one of those silent trees in winter. Beyond the glass, the world was waking up slowly. A wisp of smoke from a neighbor's chimney, the soft chirp of a lone bird. Yet inside me, I felt a heavy weariness that no sunrise could dispel. My mind was full of doubts and worry. The air outside was crisp and cold, but even as I pulled the blanket around me, I still felt the chill seep deep into my soul. I remembered another morning just like this one, when a small brightness had found its way to me. On that cold morning, I had felt my heart aching for change. Outside, snow lay heavy on the ground. I had always been strong on the outside, cheering others on, even when inside I felt broken. On this morning, I wondered if I could hold on another day. I closed my eyes and took a long breath. A faint voice reached me through the quiet. "You are not alone." It was soft, gentle, and somehow familiar. A warmth like the sun breaking through clouds seemed to settle in the room. I saw a golden light glowing softly through the window, and my heart stirred, wiping away a stray tear of gratitude. I smiled gently. "Thank you," I breathed quietly. "Thank you to the angels, to the sky, to the world, and to the memory of their guidance." In that moment, I truly believed they had heard me. I felt a soft promise settle into my soul. No matter what tomorrow brought, I could turn to them for strength. I could carry on. For the first time in a long while, I felt safe and loved. Slowly, I opened the window wider. The crisp dawn air felt like a caress. Outside, the world was stirring, sparrows chattering, snow beginning to melt where the first sunbeams lay. It felt as if everything in nature was joining the angels in celebration. A quiet cheer for the tiny spark of hope now glowing in me. For a moment, I lingered there, savoring the stillness around me. The calm world, trees beginning to stir, the gentle rustle of a breeze, the golden sunbeam touching my face, felt like a comforting hug. Even the sparrows returning to their nests brought a quiet song just for me. As I stepped outside that morning, I held with me the warmth of angelic love and the light of hope that had been rekindled inside. Each step felt lighter than the last. I noticed how the snowflakes sparkled on the branches like 1,000 tiny stars, reminding me of the light within me. A lone crow called in the distance, and somehow it felt like the voice of a friend greeting me on the road. The world around me was simple and familiar, yet I saw it now with new eyes. Every tree, every ray of sun, every footprint in the snow was a sign that life goes on. I looked up at the sky and remembered my grandmother's words about the northern lights, how she believed those dancing colors were angels guiding lost souls in the night. The memory brought a small smile to my lips and warmed my heart. For a moment, I just stood there on the porch, breathing in the crisp air and feeling alive again. My small wooden house felt solid and safe behind me. Then I noticed my neighbor, Mr. Erickson, shuffling along the path with a heavy bag of wood for the stove. Without hesitation, I hurried over to help him carry the load. Even as I did, I surprised myself by how light my breath and spirit felt as I walked beside him. He turned and looked at me. eyebrows raised and eyes softening. "Thank you," he said, his voice warm despite the morning chill. "Good to see you smiling again. Everything okay?" The question caught me off guard. I hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Something wonderful happened this morning. I feel lighter somehow," I found myself telling him. I wasn't sure why I was opening up like this, but the words felt true and sincere. "I'm glad," he said with a nod. "Sometimes all it takes is one good morning to change everything." His words hung in the crisp air and filled me with hope. I realized then that something so simple could mean so much. Helping him had reminded me of my own strength and kindness, and seeing his relief reassured me that goodness was real and powerful. Later that day, back in the warmth of my little kitchen, I made tea and sat down with my journal. The steady whistle of the kettle and the steam curling in the air felt soothing. I wrote about every detail I could remember. The touch of that feather on my cheek, the gentle voice that had spoken to me, the comforting golden light on the snow, and Mr. Erickson's kind smile. My hands trembled slightly, but writing felt like weaving a safety net around my heart. Each word seemed to seal in the hope and strength I had been given. When I finally closed my journal, I felt a curious lightness inside. In the afternoon, I decided to take a walk through the woods behind my house. The path was blanketed in deep snow, the tracks of deer and rabbits crisscrossing like a secret message. Tall pines and birch trees surrounded me, their branches dusted with frost and sparkling in the winter light. As I walked, I felt the angels with me in the quiet moments between steps. The world seemed to whisper encouraging things to me. The crunch of snow under my boots, the gentle sway of a birch tree, even the distant call of a bird. With every step, my heart felt a little lighter, as if walking itself were a kind of prayer. That evening, I stepped outside again to look at the sky. The night was clear and the stars shone brilliantly overhead. Far off on the horizon, a faint green shimmer of the northern lights began to dance. I smiled, feeling the angels' presence in that soft glow and recalling all they had taught me. I closed my eyes and whispered a prayer of thanks for the guidance and love I had received. When I finally lay down in bed that night, I felt a deep peace settle into me. For the first time in many months, I fell asleep without fear, knowing I was truly not alone. For the next few days, I noticed small changes in myself and in the world around me. I woke up each morning with gratitude, thankful for each new dawn. Even simple tasks, making breakfast, gathering wood, answering the phone, seemed to carry a new lightness. I found myself taking moments to appreciate simple blessings. A warm blanket, the softness of my bed, the first sip of hot tea in the morning, the sound of birds greeting the sunrise. On a whim one afternoon, I called a friend I hadn't spoken to in a while. Hearing her voice and sharing a genuine smile made me realize how much those small connections matter. Each day, I practiced kindness toward myself and others, watering the tiny seeds of hope the angels had planted. Each day, I felt a little stronger than the last. In the afternoon, I found a cozy village tradition that warmed my heart. On a morning in December, before anyone else was awake, the villagers gathered by candlelight to sing old carols of hope. I joined in quietly, and as I held my candle, I felt its flicker echo the angel's presence in the cold darkness. This small ritual reminded me how light always returns, like a gentle promise made real. One late night, months later, a miracle danced across the sky. The northern lights shimmered green and purple over the village, as if angels themselves were waltzing in the dark. I stood on my porch, utterly mesmerized, tears of gratitude in my eyes. It felt like the angels were celebrating with me. I whispered a quiet thank you to the sky. That night, the dancing lights stayed until dawn, turning the darkest hours into a festival of hope. Even the night itself joined in the reminder that even the deepest darkness can be full of color and promise. Before long, I felt an urge to share my journey. I started writing it down, hoping someone might find encouragement. I was amazed when people I didn't even know began to write back to me. Some told me that they too had felt lost, and that my story gave them a bit of light in their day. It felt like the angels were reaching through me to others now. Knowing that my experience was helping someone else gave me a new purpose. Each year, on the anniversary of that cold morning, I do something special. At dawn, I light a candle in my window and stand quietly watching the flame. It flickers gently, like the angel's presence in the air. I offer a prayer of thanks into the quiet morning. The memory of that first sunrise fills me with warmth again. The small ritual anchors me, reminding me that the angels were truly there and still are. One evening, I noticed a neighbor crying quietly in the snow. Instead of walking by, I went over and sat beside her. We talked, and I shared some warm tea and a blanket. She listened while I told her my own story of the morning light and the angel's visit. By the time we parted, her tears had turned to a relieved smile. She squeezed my hand and thanked me for not passing by. I knew then that sometimes the angels work by putting you right where you are needed. I also found myself laughing again. One afternoon, a friend told a silly story, and I burst into genuine, full laughter, something I hadn't done in a long time. The sound of my own joy surprised me. It felt like sunlight bubbling up from my heart. In that moment, all my fears seemed to melt away, and I was just fully alive and happy. It reminded me that the angels had brought back not just hope, but also the simple joys of life. There were mornings when I deliberately watched the sunrise. I remember one particularly cold dawn when I wrapped myself in a blanket and stepped outside. The sky transformed from deep purple to orange as the sun crept over the horizon. I felt a gentle peace settle in me with every passing minute of light. The sunrise felt like a daily miracle, a promise that dark times truly do end. I thought of the angels walking through twilight into morning just as I was. I learned that caring for my home and myself was important too. After long days, I began taking warm baths with soothing scents or wrapping myself in a cozy blanket. Before sleeping, I often read a comforting poem or listened to gentle music. These little acts of self-care reminded me that I deserved love and kindness from myself as well as from others. They helped me go to sleep feeling warm and cared for, as if the angels themselves were tucking me in at night. Sometimes, memories of those I loved would gently visit me. I brewed my grandmother's favorite herbal tea, filling the kitchen with its sweet scent. As I sipped it slowly, I felt a warm comfort, as if she were right there holding my hand. It reminded me that the love we share is never truly gone. In moments like these, I believed I was feeling the angel's reassurance, that all those who care for me are always close at heart, even if I cannot see them. Each morning, I began a simple routine of gratitude before I even left my warm bed. I would think of one thing I was thankful for, a comforting memory, a good night's sleep, or the new day itself. And I would whisper softly, "Thank you for this day." That small act filled me with positivity for the hours ahead. Throughout the day, I kept a little notebook where I jotted down even one kind word from a friend or a small joy I noticed. The taste of warm coffee, the feel of sunlight on my face. By the end of each week, I had a page full of these tiny miracles. Rereading them reminded me how much love and help I had around me, reinforcing the angel's message of hope in every moment. In quiet times, I realized the angels had become part of the rhythm of my life. I'd walk in the forest and sense them in the breeze that brushed my cheek. I'd sit by the fire and feel warmth as though it were their embrace. If a car ahead let me merge during a snowy commute, it felt like a nod of approval from above. Once, too afraid to answer a phone call, I whispered a quick prayer and felt a calm assurance as soon as I picked up. Small moments like these were our secret conversations, tiny miracles that made the ordinary feel extraordinary. I also began to pray for others with the same love the angels had shown me. If a friend was going through a hard time, I would whisper a prayer for them as I braided my hair or drove in the car. It gave me a sense of purpose and love. Often, I imagined wrapping them in the warmth I had felt, hoping the angels would do the same for them. It taught me that love only grows stronger when shared. Now, I often greet each morning with a gentle smile and quiet confidence. Even when the skies are gray and the day seems long, I remember that the sun will rise again. Each breath reminds me of that warm presence I felt, and I carry that warmth in my heart throughout the day. This knowledge gives me strength to face whatever comes. I have learned that I am never truly alone, and I have everything I need to move forward. Sometimes I think of my younger self, the person I was before all of this happened. I even write her little letters in my mind, saying things like, "You will survive this. You are stronger than you know." When I do, I feel a surge of compassion and pride for who she was and who I've become. It makes me appreciate how far I've come and how much growth has happened. It's like the angels gave me a time machine to send a message of hope to the past. My life is not perfect. Dreams still go unfulfilled and problems still arise. But now I see them differently. I no longer face them alone or in fear. I take them step by step, supported by the love I feel around me. Where before I saw only obstacles, now I see opportunities to grow. With patience and self-love, I have become someone who knows she can handle the storms. Each challenge is just part of the journey toward the light. I also learned to care for myself gently. After long days, I began taking warm baths with soothing scents, or wrapping myself in a cozy blanket. Before sleeping, I often read a comforting poem or listened to gentle music. These little acts of self-care reminded me that I deserved love and kindness from myself as well as from others. They helped me go to sleep feeling warm and cared for, as if the angels themselves were tucking me in at night. Over time, I also learned to forgive both others and myself. I remembered friends and family whom I had been angry at and found the courage to let go. Writing letters of apology or simply saying a kind word mended old rifts. Each act of forgiveness lifted a weight from my heart. I realized the angels were teaching me that holding on to anger only hurts me. Releasing it was part of healing. Letting love back in made my world even brighter. As I end this story, I feel deep gratitude and peace. The angel's love still surrounds me, and I know I carry it every day. Looking toward the future, I face it with hope and trust in each new dawn. In the quiet of my heart, I softly whisper thanks for bringing me here. And so my story continues, as yours does too. I now walk forward, knowing that whenever I feel lost again, the angels of my morning will be there, guiding me, listening to my silent prayers, reminding me of my strength and of love. Under the endless northern sky, I carry their message with me, that hope awakens with each new dawn, that love holds me always, and that within the heart of the longest winter lies the seed of spring. You too can carry this message in your heart. You are not alone. You are loved. You are enough.